So today, I'm going to be reinforcing my tire ends a little bit more. Some of you guys were bitching, actually, a lot of you guys were bitching about not only the strength, which I'm 100% sure that they would work, but I'm just going to do it for the safety of others because, you know what, I don't want people to get hurt because of my car. You know, I can take my own life into my own hands, and I'm sure most of you guys see that as perfectly fine, but I'm not going to risk other people's lives because of my project. And hopefully you guys will respect that. So I'm just going to take all the shit off again and just take some 1/8 inch steel and just kind of reinforce a little bit, maybe do some cleanup on the outside. I didn't end up welding on the outside of the sleeve on the nut. I don't know if you guys saw the previous video. Go check that out. You can see what I'm talking about. So yeah, let's start with taking all the shit out of my garage. So obviously, starting with center caps, gotta go ahead and take these things off, and then raise the car, take the lug nuts off, take the wheel off, and then get to the tie rod end. Now we've got both wheels off and everything. Now we're gonna have to take the tie rod ends off again, which means taking out that pin in the castle nut and then knocking it loose again and probably fucking up the tie rod end boot thing even more. And then we'll move on to reinforcing the tie rod ends and probably make it a little bit safer. But before we do anything, I'd like to check for clearances just to see where I can reinforce it. And it looks like I'll just do the top and the bottom. I'll just put a little strip of steel all the way across the tube and then onto the tie rod end itself. Maybe all the way around. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. Either way, just make it a little bit safer. So now I've got both of them off, and I kind of realized that it's going to be a little bit more difficult, or I'm going to have to do a little bit different than I was going to. So in here, I was going to weld just because if this does decide to break, there's nothing really holding that bolt on to the sleeve. So I was going to weld the sleeve to this last bolt, which is going to, and then do runners from the sleeve down here just to make this whole kind of thing a lot stronger. But the thing is there's the other nut that is kind of like the retaining nut to hold this thing from spinning around or whatever from, you know, kind of getting out of alignment. But it's like if I weld inside of there, the retaining nut isn't really going to want to go up against it. So what I think I'm going to do is, and then again, I don't want to kind of get any excess weld inside the threads because then that'll fuck me. So I'm just going to try and maybe do some tack welds or see what I can do inside there with the bolt that I had in here just to keep it all aligned. So just try and get that in there, and that thing has oil on it, so I doubt any kind of weld will actually want to stick to it, so it might kind of prevent it a little bit. So just going to try and weld that as best I can, hopefully not mess it up, and then just run kind of stringers. I want to do like maybe like 1/2 inch thick or 1/2 inch, you know, wide strips just across here and down, and then across here and down, across here and down, maybe just 2, maybe 4, I'm not really sure yet, but I think that'll just kind of make this whole thing just a lot stronger. And yeah, so hopefully a lot safer, and we'll see how it goes. I don't think this will break at all. You know, I mean, Low Miata has the same exact setup, so maybe his is a little bit different. Haven't really seen it, but anyways, gonna go ahead and try and do that kind of weld inside there, see how it goes. Hopefully I don't fuck it up. So now everything's welded up. Not only did I do the little bit on the outside, but I also did the little stringer things. Not the best welding job, but hopefully a lot safer. They're still really hot, so I'm gonna wait a little bit longer and then go ahead and throw them on the car. But as you can see, I kind of did the little bit there, and then I also kind of welded these pieces of metal that go across there. Still very hot, but so just to connect this piece with this piece and just kind of hopefully keep everything together. So now I've got both of them on. As you can see, or hopefully can see, that there's plenty of clearance in there to allow it to move and everything. I didn't want to go on the sides or anything because just I knew I would have plenty of clearance going just on the top and the bottom of the outer tie rod end, and that should be plenty strong. There's no better way to do it. I mean, you could probably get, I mean, unless you had them made or something, and which I'm not going to do that. This will be plenty. I mean, I'm sure before it would have been plenty, even without the sleeve. It probably would have been fine, but just because my wheels are so big, and I'm probably going to end up getting like ARP wheel studs or you know, something like that. Just kind of keep this thing safe. I really don't want, well, essentially I just don't want to, you know, ruin my $320 tires. I'd like to try and conserve those as much as possible, but it's whatever. So we'll just go ahead and throw on the wheels, and then that's it. And then hopefully it'll be a little bit more safer. And hopefully soon I'll stop procrastinating and actually get my springs and be able to drive this thing. And then after that, I can finally do the flares. I'll probably do that super soon, honestly. Maybe even tonight. Probably not, though. We'll see. So yeah, just throw on these wheels, get back down on the ground, we're done. So anyways, that's it for today. This episode was a little bit of repeat of the last video I kind of did on this thing. I know, just kind of to appeal to all the butthurts out there concerned about safety. Not that I'm not concerned about safety, it's just I believe that it was plenty safe before. Now I'm sure it's even safer. Not that it's the safest, but anyways, if you like this video, please hit that like button. Go ahead and subscribe if you aren't. Follow my Instagram, follow me on Snapchat, whatever you want. Yeah.